flex on the chin. Just keep your head down and carry on. You fight like hell, turn the other cheek. It's what separates the strong from the weak. And that's just the way that the line gets drawn. You gotta keep on living.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to 10 Minute Misconduct, the unofficial podcast of the PHL. I'm Edric. We're joined by Anna, Lee, and Taylor are away this week. So hi, everybody. Anna, we have a few things we want to get to this week, including the playoffs or something like that, I understand?
Yeah, playoffs are coming up. We also, first off, I wanted to shout out by giving you a happy birthday. It's your birthday week, so happy birthday to you.
Thank you. I'm one step closer to my grave.
One day closer, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So far it looks like Danbury has clinched their spot in playoffs. I know the Dragons need two regulation wins, I believe, to clinch their spot. And Motor City, I gotta look up the exact things on that, but I think they're pretty close to winning. Let's see, the third seat in the Continental Division. So, yeah, I hope everybody is going to be tuning in for our live playoff coverage. And also next week we have Alex Spacey as our guest. And this week we are excited to have Michael Greco coming on. So
Michael Greco, yes, he's going to be a good interview this week. He sure has stirred some emotions with fans and players in the league. So hopefully he can explain himself on a few things tonight.
Yeah. So let's see. Other than that, what are you going to be doing with playoff coverage?
I think we're all going to do a joint show with some other podcasts, I believe. But
yep,
we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we can talk about that later. One thing I did want to touch on, some of the auction winners have already received their items. So I hope everybody that has received them has been happy with what they got. And for the few that either everything's in shipping or it's going to be on the way, bear with us because we're working on wrapping that up. But we are super grateful for your donations. And a little update on Taylor. He's doing well. He's just like working hard and, needing a fresh start on things is not an easy task. So I know he's super grateful to all you guys for helping out. So from all of us, again, thank you so much for your help.
I'm grateful to hear that Taylor's doing well because I can imagine having to start all over like that, and especially with the child. So
yeah.
So yeah. So are we getting ready to enjoy some playoffs? You asked me what I was planning on doing. I think I'm going to probably be joining you guys, probably getting our little multi-screens going and all that stuff. I'll probably try to attend the game here in Port Huron and maybe try to do some live coverage here, per se. Other than that, I think I will be right along with you guys here, just with like the little TVs and monitors going here. Then, of course, minor league baseball and baseball has started, so I'll have my little baseball side on the left and my hockey side on the right, whatever, and we'll get all going. So right now the Mud Hens are losing 1-0, but yeah. So are we ready to talk to Mr. Greco tonight?
Yeah, guys, let's bring in Michael Greco.
Yay!
All right, guys, let's welcome Michael Greco to the show. Columbus River Dragon, how you doing tonight?
I'm pretty good. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Wonderful. Just enjoying the weather that's supposed to be coming by tonight. But other than that, pretty good. You?
Oh, I'm just relaxing. We had practice this morning, and it's really muggy out down here, though. So really sticky weather. Wasn't nice.
I'll trade you. I'm up here in Michigan, so I'll trade you. So.
Is it like what? Windy, cold, and damp?
Right now we're at 41 degrees, windy, and yeah, the warm front's gonna come up here overnight and give us some tornadoes. So that's always fun.
That's good.
Yay, tornadoes! So
yeah, you stay safe up there.
Heck no, drive fast, take chances, right?
Pardon?
So coming up to playoff time, what are you looking forward to the most during this playoff?
I'm kind of just looking forward to we have 4 big games coming up. And obviously if we win 2, it'll solidify if we're in first or second. So I'm looking to win 2 and then solidify first, and then kind of just go in the playoffs as a first place team. I did it last year in Sweden. Unfortunately, it didn't go as well though. Didn't do too hot. So I'm looking for the complete opposite results this time around. So.
And what team do you hope to go against in the first round?
I don't think I really have like a team that I'm hoping to play against. I'm more so just worried about, not even worried. I'm looking forward to it. Like I just hope we can, everyone comes to play on our team, because when we do our thing, when we play our game, we're a hard team to beat. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm not really hoping for a specific team. To us, like it doesn't really matter. We, respect every team in the league that we play against. And obviously, as you've seen, anyone can beat anyone. It doesn't matter. So.
That's true.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing I've noticed with the Fed. Any given night could be any given winner. And I know, I think it's the next 3 out of 4 coming up with Carolina. You guys have home ice advantage. So,
Yep.
As a Dragon fan, I hope you guys kick ass in that. But you mentioned Sweden, and it was on my list of some questions I wanted to ask. Can you tell me a little bit about your time playing in Sweden and what it was like living in a different country?
It was unbelievable. Honestly, it was my first time in Europe. I was fortunate enough to go over during COVID year when everything was shut down. So everything in North America was shut down, and I guess they were up and running still in certain aspects of their world, I guess, and hockey was one of them. So it was it was a culture shock, honestly, like the way they run things over there, from like how they are with the hockey aspect to the living aspect to just public transportation, grocery stores, how like things were way more accessible than they are over in North America. It's weird. It was honestly really cool. My first year, I only got to play 7 games, and then COVID started to really take over Sweden, so it canceled the season. But last year, I got to have the full experience from start to finish, with the same team, same town, pretty much the same group of guys that were there. So it was really cool, because I got to actually travel within Sweden. I went to Stockholm a couple times, and got to experience what life was like in a bigger city in a different country. And I got to live in a smaller town. I wouldn't even call it a town. It's more like a village. Like there wasn't a lot of people.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. With a hockey rink. So I got, the both ends. It was kind of nice. I grew up in a small town at Aurelia, so I could kind of relate to where I was living in Sweden anyways. So it was really cool.
How are their fans compared to the North American fans?
There wasn't really much, honestly. Like I went, like for my, I played Division 2. It's not the highest league in Sweden by any means, but Division 2 fans, I don't know. I think we had like the most in our home rink was maybe 50. Like it's a completely different than what it is here. It's insane. And I think during playoffs we played in a town called Kovlin, and they had about 300. So honestly, kind of when I played in Delaware, it felt like the same thing. That I could
Okay.
kind of relate to that, because like Delaware's seating, they don't have a lot, but they had enough people there that it felt like a lot. But I know I went to an SHL game, which was insane. That's the highest league in Sweden, and they're like soccer fans there. They have people banging drums. Like specific section for the away fans. It's insane. I couldn't believe it.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
and they had chants going on, like obviously like there's like chants and stuff like in North American hockey games, like when you see in the NHL. But these just were different. Like it was like a whole song they were singing. It was insane. Yeah.
It's like
Wow.
a soccer kind of feel, right? Like
That's exactly what it
we do
is.
out in the soccer. Yeah,
Yeah.
my wife said that if they did that more in baseball or hockey, that she would attend more games. So maybe we should bring a new idea for FHL. Bring in some sort of trampoline lines or something like that,
It
trombone lines or something like that.
Yeah, like it was funny. I was fortunate enough to actually where I was sitting was right in front of the away spot. Like they had like a sectioned off spot. So every time the away team scored, there was a guy banging a drum and they did their chant. They had like a specific team chant every time there was a goal. It was nuts.
Oh wow.
I love it. That sounds
Yeah, it was
awesome.
really cool to
Yeah,
experience.
Dad. Um, like talking about like the different styles of play and all that stuff. Would you say that over in Sweden is more hardcore type kind of play, or is it softer than it is in the North America or United States?
It's definitely softer over in Europe. Like they tend to focus more on the skill aspect, um, like the stick handling, puck possession. There's not a lot of dump and chase, especially with the big rink, because the rink's the Olympic.
Yeah, I've heard it's a lot of east to
Yeah,
west versus
exactly.
like a north to south kind
Like
of
the more,
play.
like when you watch our games and stuff, you'll see if like there's not an option, we'll just dump it in and go chase it. There, it's so wide, you can kind of. There was a lot of guys on our team who would circle back and regroup the puck constantly. Took a little bit to get used to. It was kind of annoying because I'm used to the dump and chase style. Um,
Right.
but they're really focused on like stick work and like there was a lot of like hooking penalties because they're trying to get their stick inside of you, like into your hands and like where you're the soft area of where you're holding your stick, rather than them
Right.
just hitting you. Um, so
So it's like
sorry, what were you saying?
so is it like the Olympic style rank? I'm sorry about cutting you off, but is it like the Olympic style rank versus the NHL rinks over here? It's like longer and wider at the back end, right?
I don't know if it's
Because that's what I think.
longer. I think it felt longer, but it was definitely wider. That's for sure. Like like in our rink, Columbus's rink specifically, the hash marks are pretty close to the wall, touching. There, over in Europe, like you got like maybe 2, 3 feet from the wall. Um, so like,
Gotcha.
yeah, it's insane.
It's like the NHL style rink. We're up here. To me, it makes you think more like an egg, kind of like an oval type thing, where the Olympic style rinks overseas and all that stuff. It reminds me of like a stretched out rectangle, kind of
Yeah,
like
that's
a little bit
exactly what
more
it feels
physical.
like. Yeah,
Yes.
like the corners weren't
So
as rounded; they were more like, you know what I
almost
mean?
like a 90-degree corner. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um.
Interesting.
So everybody wants to know up here. Back in January, you came play in Port Huron, and we saw a little altercation in the stands. Everybody wants to know what happened. What was going on up there?
I'm not one to kind of. I mean, that would be the first time, but there was another incident in Carolina. I'm sure we'll bring up, but um, uh, so the one in Port Huron, I don't tend to snap often. Like I'm one that can kind of keep my cool, um, in certain situations. But obviously, like I'm from Canada, and so Port Huron's closer to Canada. My family was there, and we were losing the game, which is fine. Like I'm not a sore loser. Like what?
I remember that game. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Like we were losing. Like it's whatever. Like I don't think we were gonna come back and win. It happens. Like it's whatever. I'm not a sore loser. It happens. And my family was there, like I was saying, and I don't know. Like there was a guy. I guess he was like looking like he was gonna pour beer or pour something on us, and he was yelling at us. And my my dad specifically happened to be sitting nearby. So he told the guy, like, hey, like, don't pour anything on them, like, kind of just leave them alone. And then
Right.
these three big dudes, like, my dad's older. Um, he's a pretty tough dude, but I don't think he can take on three guys at once. Um, he, he started getting shoved by these pretty big, younger looking guys. And that's when I snapped because he was there with my mom and my girlfriend who aren't going to be able to help him if anything happens. Um, So then I snapped because obviously I want to, I'm a family guy. I'm a family man, as pretty much anyone would do. And in defense of my parents, and I couldn't do anything. I felt helpless because I couldn't help my dad if something were to happen. So I guess my way of helping out my dad was yelling at them to pretty much leave him alone. Like, what are you doing? It's embarrassing. Why are you pushing around an older guy? And then on top of it, there was I don't know, some kid looking at me like going like this, like saying he killed me or something, and that didn't help at all. That definitely didn't add it because
Right.
I guarantee he wouldn't do that to my face if I had my equipment off. I guarantee it. So then that just
Right.
added into it, and it was just not a
Well,
good situation whatsoever. So
because I see him make a comment on the Fort Huron fan page and all that stuff. You were saying that you were trying to do that to him, and he was like, "I'm just an innocent 16-year-old boy. Why would a player ever do anything like that to me?" I'm like,
yeah, like
"Oh,
no, like I was telling him, like I was obviously saying stuff back to him. I was letting him know. I was giving him the business, letting him know what was up. If I wasn't down there and we were face to face, what would happen? But
right,
he was sitting. I don't know who I think he was sitting with his dad or something, or a friend of his who was a girl, and he was like saying like he would kill me. It's like, what are you doing? Like, what are
that's
you doing,
crazy."
man?
I I know that we'll get to talk about this a little bit more, and has more questions for you. But does that look familiar at all?
Is that a Sarnia Legionnaires shirt?
Yeah, it is.
No way.
Very nice.
The old
Very nice.
the junior B days.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. Yes, I
Okay.
just that's my team. I love that team. That's it's either Port Huron or Sarnia Legionnaires that I go to all the time. But I will touch on that later on. And you want to ask any questions?
Yeah, I have so many fan questions.
Go for it.
One, since you brought up Carolina, I'm sure you're familiar with Toga
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Hey, Toga Man. He sent in a question, and it says, how is it being in the penalty box in North Carolina, especially next to Toga Man?
Honestly, you know what? The first game, I was like, what is this donkey doing? Like that was my first thought. I'm like, this guy's fully painted. He's wearing a toga with a couple bells like taped or something together.
Oh, yeah, that
Yeah.
big, it's like
Yeah.
six
Yes,
bells,
yes.
I
Like,
think. Yeah, yeah,
what is
yeah.
this guy doing? And then I was like, obviously at first I was like, this guy's annoying as hell. So I gave it to him, and then I got another penalty, and I was like, you know what, this is pretty entertaining. Like I'm gonna entertain this. This is fun. And then obviously it's a show for him. All the kids and all the people behind him love it. So when yeah, like if
Absolutely.
I'm in the penalty box and I'm like sitting there smiling, I'm like, let me hear it. Let's hear it. Like, give it to me. I want to hear it all. And then, him and I met after a game once, and he's like, honestly, like, thank you so much. Like, that's hilarious. You're one of the few guys that like actually entertain that in a fun way. Um, I've seen videos of guys snapping on him. Like I think I've seen a guy from Bingo losing his mind on him. I've seen a couple guys on our team lose it on him. So it's
He actually said today, he told me that outside of the Thunderbirds, you're his favorite player. So I thought that was kind of cool. And I think I saw a video that maybe the whole team ran into him at a gas station or
yeah, it
something
was
after a
hilarious.
game
It
one
was
night.
so fun. We just stopped to get
Yeah.
food, and then he just walks in all painted. Obviously, we knew it was him. He's like red face, and
Yeah.
like, oh my god. And then yeah, he just took a video, and it was funny, and we all started chanting toga. It is funny. Like stuff like that's funny. That's harmless.
For sure.
Like that's where fans can do whatever they want in that aspect. In my mind, like that's fun. It's harmless. It's entertaining. It's funny. Like if you take it the right way, obviously. But like the Port Huron incident, like you don't have to get physical, especially with someone that is older. Like you can clearly tell that my dad's not. He's not old, but he's older. He's older than you are.
Right.
And like if anything, like just talk to him. Use your words. You don't have to push him and shove them. Like I found the TikTok actually. Someone made a TikTok, I found it. You can see the guy shoving him down the railing. Was that you?
Sure, it was Ed.
Did you delete it? Because I tried to go back and find it.
No, the guy who did the pushing or whatever, he complained to TikTok, and they had me in a 24-hour ban. They removed the video. TikTok removed it.
Yeah, go figure. I wonder why he complained.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, so yeah, there we go. I got proof right there that he made the video of the guy shoving my dad. So it's like, like, don't get physical. There's certain things you can say. Like, you can chirp me all you want. Like, you can say whatever the hell you want to me. There's certain things you can't say, and that's is where the whole, I'm sure you guys are going to bring it up, the whole Carolina other video, so.
I did not do that TikTok.
No, you didn't. No, but I was brought up on another podcast. Actually, it was funny. So,
do you want to talk about the other incident in Carolina?
Yeah, I have no problem talking about it. I want to actually apologize. I don't know who it was. I want to, if this person listens to this podcast, I want to apologize to them because I don't think it was the man that I snapped on. I heard someone, saying some things that you probably shouldn't be saying in general. They're kind of uncalled for and, cross the line. I'm not going to say them on the podcast because, it's just not necessary. But so I obviously circled back and I wanted to, get in their face, like say it to my face. And we were losing. I had a couple bad penalties throughout that game. And then I got tossed for doing something that I don't think I should have got kicked out for. And then I hear some fan crossing a line. So I snapped and I do apologize to that man because I don't think it was him. I think his name's Peter. If I've seen on Facebook, Peter Naughton or something like that. I could be wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like a Carolina.
Yeah, he's on the trash.
He's a Carolina super fan, I think. He's been a fan for a while. I think he's the poor guy that got in the way of it. So, so if you're listening, I apologize. It wasn't intended for you.
Hey, Peter.
Hi, Peter.
Yeah. So, I do apologize, and it was not intended for you. So.
So I wanted to ask, Military Appreciation Night is absolutely my favorite night in Columbus. And I think one of the best parts of the night was seeing somebody get thrown through the glass. And I just wondered, what was that like? And is that the first time it's happened? Or is that something that try to get one of those every season?
No, that was a first. That was a first for me. It was pretty sweet. I've honestly, as often as I hit people, I've never put a guy on a bench. Which is on the list. I want to do that. And I've never put a guy through the glass. So, I didn't put him through the glass, but I blew the glass apart. Like, it didn't break, but it popped off, which is cool. So, that was a first for me. And, obviously I knew how many people were there and how important that game was to everyone in the building.
Absolutely.
And it was just happened, the whole, I think it was the first shift, actually. Jay Krupp got in a fight, and then I'm a defenseman. I took the draw, and then I just all my momentum threw all my momentum into another big dude and just blew the glass up. So it is what it is. And it was funny because I have a buddy on Delaware. He's like, that was staged, wasn't it? I'm like, no. How can you stage that? Like, how am I going to...
Yeah, no kidding, because right place, right time.
Yeah. Like, you can't pop out a little bit of a glass and then hope to God someone hits it. So...
You told me
especially with fans behind it.
Yeah.
You told me to deal with the arena crew to change the glass into a thinner glass and all that stuff before the game, and you knew exactly what pane of glass was like paper thin, and you're like, I'm going for that piece of glass.
Yeah, that's why I took the face off. I lost it on purpose. I swear.
It's like WrestleMania.
What you got, Ed?
Ice. So, going back to the whole starting of Legionnaire Chief DOJHL, I've noticed on my part, going from the FHL to over there to watch the Sarnia play, that the Canadian style is a lot more physical than American style of hockey. I remember my first game was a Sarnia Legionnaire versus St. Mary's Lincoln the game,
Mhm.
and the goalie was sending the defenseman like flying in the air. She kept like taking the stick and put it up between his legs and making the guy fly. And the guy, he hit him so hard, the guy flew about 10 feet in the front because he kept, trying to get in his way, block him. And it was like, after that, I went back and saw it a couple more, and I was hooked. It was just like, they play a lot more rougher over there than. Can you attest to that? Is it like a more business kind of play?
Yeah, like I like to think so. Like I'm growing up, like I've come to American tournaments and whatnot, like playing AAA. Come to Boston a couple times, Detroit, and we tend to always be the more physical team of the tournament. Um, and then if you kind of look at our league now, the more physical guys in the league tend to be Canadian. From what I've gathered, anyways. Like I don't like. I'm trying to think if they're.
There's actually one Legionnaire that is a player in FHL and SPHL, Matt Stoya.
Max, have I played against? I don't think I've played against him.
Uh, may have not. I don't know, but he did. He came from Sarnia, and he been tearing it up in the both of the leagues up in the SHL.
Yeah, like that GOJHL is like it's a good it's a really good league. It's a sleeper league because like there's a lot of good guys in that league that either don't want to move up because they have like their home, like it's their hometown. Like I have, there's junior B teams like Kitchener, Waterloo. There's the Hamilton Kilty Bees now. I used to play. Yeah, I used to play for the. I used to play for the Ancaster Avalanche, but now they're called the Kilty Bees. And there was a lot of local kids, like a lot of Burlington kids. There was a lot of Hamilton kids, Ancaster kids. So you have a lot of guys like that who are local, really good hockey players, and they just don't move because junior B is good. It's fast paced. It's talented. There's kind of no need to move up unless they really want to. So that's why like the GOJHL is like a sleeper league because you have a lot of hidden talent in there that people don't recognize.
Here's a question for you: like or dislike London Nationals?
I never actually had the chance to play them because the two loops that I played in the horseshoe one, so it'd be like Niagara Falls, and then the other one I played in would be the Midwestern, which would be or whatever it's called. It'd be
St. Catharines, Falcons, and all that stuff.
Brantford, Stratford, all those teams,
Warriors, Warriors,
Yep.
But yeah.
So, Chris Raz, he's a 110er right behind the penalty box in the Civic Center.
Okay.
I'm sure you know the area. He wanted to know if you could fight any player in the Fed, who would it be?
Oh, okay. Personal reasons or for entertainment purposes?
Ooh, yes, do it personal.
I'll do both. I'll answer both.
Say your choice.
Obviously there was an incident when we played Carolina at home last. Wouldn't mind going toe to toe with Bazarin. For those reasons specifically. There's a video on YouTube. You can find the hit if you want. Yeah. And then, honestly, I'd love to fight Amesbury. I'd love to give Amesbury a go. I think,
that'd be a great fight.
I think him and I are in the same weight class. He obviously has way more experience than I do. And he's like kind of adapted and accepted that role as like, a fighter. I don't consider myself a fighter. I will fight, absolutely, but I don't consider myself a fighter. Like you can look at, how many points I have and the way I play. Like I do play the game differently, but I would love to. I think I would love to fight Amesbury at least once. So.
Yeah. I don't know if you're familiar with Ice Wars, but I could totally see you competing in something like that, to be
I've
honest.
talked about it. Like I've talked not with like the guys who run it. I've talked about it with my parents and my friends and stuff. And I fought a guy in Delaware who actually was in Ice Wars. And you,
Alan, I think.
yeah, and you can look up how that went. So and then
I think I made a TikTok with y'all's fight.
it was I don't know. I obviously read some comments after it, and they were all wondering why I kept going, and I kept going because like he's like 6'2" or 6'1", like 280, 290. He's a big dude, and last time we played Delaware, which was military weekend, I guess I hit a kid and I broke his face or something. So they signed him in response to what I did. So they gave me the option to either, fight him or something else would happen. And I'd rather just fight him and get it over with than, him accidentally or purposely hurting someone on my team or fighting someone else on my team. Because then I'd feel like it's my fault if something like that happens. So, obviously the outcome.
I think.
What were you gonna say? Sorry.
So, yeah, I was just gonna say. I think in that situation, in your defense, he did pull himself back up.
Yeah.
At the end, so like in that one, I feel like he was still in that fight. I do think there might have been one with a sea wolf. Last name is Helen.
Yep.
I think there was one. Yep. Yeah. I do know that we had a question from Lee Mary, and you're kind of touching on it, but he said, what do you think about fans that say you play dirty and don't respect the code by throwing punches when an opponent is down?
I'm glad actually you asked that because like I am not a dirty hockey player at all. I've had 2 suspensions this year. One of them was the Allen fight in Delaware for continuing the fight.
Yeah.
And then the other one was pulling away from a referee after I got spat on. So if you you can look at the suspensions of other guys in the league and what they've done, and I definitely don't fit into that pool as a dirty hockey player. Yeah, I hit hard, I play hard, but I'm never a guy to spear you behind the play, spit on you, cross check you in the face, nothing like that. And
right.
I've never had anything like that. Like to the severity of other guys.
How did you handle the situation when you were spit on? Because in my opinion, that's one of like the biggest forms of disrespect, and I don't think I could like keep it together, to be honest.
It was tough. Like, I mean, it's tough because it was more to it. It wasn't just me being spat on. Like the hit that I mentioned a couple minutes ago, that happened. It was all the same game. So he hit me. And I got up, he served his penalty. I asked him to fight. He didn't respect it. He didn't want to fight. And I wasn't going to give him an option. I was just going to do it. And then he spat on me while being pulled away. And that's my issue with like people saying I'm dirty and all that stuff. I don't ever do anything like that. When I'm being pulled away by a referee, I leave it. I don't continue mouthing off. I don't, spit on guys or act all tough. Like you've seen it. Like you've seen me hit a guy and I've just stood there smiling while being punched in the face.
So it was like, he was probably like an escalation of disrespect, and you just finally like snapped.
Yeah, it was like, I don't understand. Like you can't, personally, if, you do something that dirty and then the guy that you did it to asks you to fight, you can say yes or no. But like, how do you just say no and then continue to spit on him after for asking? So, that's the part that I was like, I guess in my brain, because if you've seen the video on Facebook, I've seen it and I remember it very specifically. Like he spat on me and then I kind of looked at my bench and didn't realize like I just got spat on. And then I snapped, and then I skated away from the ref, and then that's what got me the suspension. And then a bunch of other stuff happened. So, yeah.
Oh, man, to you is you view it as a form of disrespect, and I mean, I think like what Anna was saying, that it's the ultimate form of disrespect in some cases and all that stuff. And So you had the. I can see why you would do that now when you explain it. Now I can see why you would do that.
Yeah.
Where when you look at a video on YouTube and all that stuff, or TikTok, but you're seeing just a short snippet of the larger story. So you only see maybe about 20 seconds of about 5 minutes of build up or something like that. So
Yeah,
I can,
exactly.
yeah.
And
So
Yeah, that's one thing I like about the podcast is it does give people the opportunity to have a voice.
and like back to the whole like being a dirty player thing, like I don't know if guys have problems with me hitting guys, like I would personally say with the hits that I throw, go look at them all. Like they're all either shoulder to chest. Sometimes I do bring my hands up a little high, but it's not I'm hitting you in the face. It's more so my follow through. So it looks like I'm hitting you high. That's been a problem my whole life. Like I tend to hit with my hands and push you through, like push you over. But like if you cut across the blue line, I'm not hitting you in the face. Like, and if I do hit you in the face, it's going to be my head hitting your head, or something from the whiplash. It's not my shoulder hitting you in the face because I'm leaving my feet or anything like that. That to me is when it's considered dirty, or you purposely knee a guy or purposely knee or run a guy from behind, which has been that's happened to me multiple times this year. I've been run from behind a couple times. So I mean, it is what it is. People are going to say what they want to say, and I wouldn't consider myself a dirty hockey player whatsoever. So
I think you have the
Yeah,
kind
I
of
wouldn't either.
character upon yourself where you like the other team when you're playing against them don't like you, but you would love to have you on their team. You have that kind of personality. I think that when you're playing against you present a good like villain card. But if you were on this team, you'd be loved by the team. So it's a kind of love hate relationship going on here.
that's kind of how it was growing up too, like with junior. I wasn't liked, be playing against obviously, but guys loved me on their team. Just the way I play, and again, like I'm not dirty, but I will do anything for my team. I'll stick up for anyone. And that's kind of relating back to the whole Helen thing, the two-parter question. The reason why I continued that was it was more of a statement. I was making a statement for our team and kind of everything that's gone on all year. I wouldn't call Helen a dirty hockey player whatsoever. He plays hard. He's young. He just wants to play, and I respect that fully. But I've asked him throughout the year to fight multiple times, and I've been told no, which is fine. And then we were winning last time we were in Mississippi, and he asked me to fight. I said no, like I'm not going to fight you. You haven't fought me all year. I've asked. So I said no, obviously, and we were winning. I didn't want to ruin our momentum. And then he ended up fighting a guy on our team, and it obviously didn't go well for the guy on our team. But the problem I have, and the reason why I wanted to make that statement to him, was because the guys he's fought on our team aren't known for fighting, don't typically fight.
Right.
They'll have maybe one fight
Like
a
with
year.
Vanelli.
Like Vanelli, Kinger, Kirk. And he did fight Ozo. I will say he fought Ozo, but Ozo fell. And he wouldn't fight him again.
Right.
So, like it's tough. And I had to make a statement, make it known. Like you're not, you're fighting someone who is okay with fighting and wants to fight. So it's a completely different ball game when you're standing toe to toe with someone that knows what they're doing and has done it before multiple times and isn't afraid. So
it's kind of like the old saying, pick on somebody your own size, Don't go after the
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. After this year and looking forward, what are your long-term plans in hockey?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get asked this, quite often, obviously, like, what's your plans? I get asked this every year. What are your plans next year? What are you looking to do? I think I just want to play like the highest level I possibly can for as many years as I can. And obviously, like I'm 24. I don't know if I can play this game forever. Obviously, I can't. I play hard and I have bad knees. pretty bad hips.
All right.
So, especially the way I play, I throw my body around and beat my body up. So, it's gonna break down on me soon. So my window of playing at the highest level I possibly can is getting small. But I definitely want to stay involved in the game of hockey, whether I'm playing or coaching. I think I have a lot of knowledge when it comes to hockey that I would like to pass on to the younger generations of hockey players. So don't
Maybe
really
I'll
have
spin
any
the question around.
specifics.
Maybe I'll spin the question around. If before you become a coach or whatnot, is there any one team in all the universe of hockey that you would love to play for one time before you retire? Is there any one team that you would love to play for?
Well, I think every kid obviously grows up wanting to play for their favorite NHL team. So I'm going to have to go with the San Jose Sharks. I'd love to play, for them. And I wish Joe Thornton was still playing. But honestly, if Joe Thornton was in the league still, any team he's on, that's the team I'd want to play on. He's my favorite player. He's a forward. I'm a D man, so it's weird, but he's my favorite player. So
Is it because they're Canadian and you have a Joe Thornton arena in the GOJHL right now? So I can see the correlation when you said that.
it has nothing to do with that he's not like Canadian and all. I just like the way he plays. I picture myself if I was a forward playing his style, not to the extent that he does. Like obviously he'd be way better. He's way better than I am. Way more skilled, but I would try and replicate my game after him. Like he's a very pass first type of guy. He's a big dude. He's not afraid to, get in the corners. He's not afraid to fight. So I kind of replicate my game after him in that sense.
So with the 2 games, the Dragons can clinch playoffs. And I know Carolina, the rivalry's there. It's been there for years. It's going to be there for years. I know they tend to get under the Dragons' skin more than most teams.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, do they antagonize you guys? Are they just like a tough team? Or I know that they just draw these penalties and, what is it about the Thunderbirds that make the Dragons play just a little bit different if you're like in their barn?
In their barn? Is that what you said?
Or just in general, I guess.
I don't know. I actually don't know. I think it's just like the history, I guess, between the two, and like we obviously have a couple guys on our team that have played there before. So the desire to beat them is obviously heightened and greater with those guys on our team, and we have like guys like Petro who have won with them before. I think Pavlos has as well. And then all those guys know each other too. So you want to beat your buddy. You always want to beat your buddy. You don't ever want to be the loser of the two. So just having that, I guess, it kind of just heightens the intensity of the games. And I guess like when you see your buddy not acting properly or, acting like he should or playing like he should, that, it kind of gets under your skin. Like wondering why he's kind of, embellishing certain things or whining about certain things. I can see that being a reason. They're also a young team too. I'm pretty sure they're younger. They got quite a bit of like 2000s. I think they have a couple of ones on their team. So they obviously have a bunch of younger guys who aren't in the league. They haven't been in the league long. Like I'm one of them. But they're younger than I am, and I guess they just can kind of say whatever they want, like they come from, I know they have a couple ex-OHL guys. So I don't know, I guess the ego or the swagger, I guess, might, get in the way or something, but.
Have you seen the bench brawl from 2020 between Carolina and the Dragons?
No, I've seen like little snippets of it. I haven't seen the whole thing.
You'll have to look it up on YouTube. It's fantastic.
Is it nuts?
Oh, yeah. Even Boom Boom's involved. The coaches, they're ripping their shirts off on the ice. It was, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah. I think, honestly, this is sad, but I've probably watched it at least 4 or 5 times. It never gets old. It's like the best. Like, I wish I could have been there in person, because that moment was just, I mean, the crowd's going nuts, and I don't know, it was amazing. So I'm just wondering if there's still like a little Carolina Dragon tension from 2020.
There might be, like 2020. That was right before COVID, right?
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, I guess if they ended on a bench brawl, and then had a couple years of separation, then there's there's still a lot of heat between the two. That could be it.
Yeah.
And
So
did you add that to our TikTok page? Did you add that fight to our TikTok page?
I will get on that tonight.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, actually, you've made our TikTok reels. We just started a new TikTok account, and right now it's mostly fights. But
Okay.
you're in probably at least 3 of them, so you have to go check it out.
I don't have TikTok, but I will get
Um,
an account. I will make an account just to go look at it. I promise.
yeah, because I try to pull the fights, and I try to get people to send us the fights every weekend,
Mhm.
so people from around the league can kind of see not just their team fight, but everybody loves a good hockey fight. So.
Oh yeah.
We did have a question. Let me see. Sorry, I just got to read my notes. The question, can you touch on what happened with like the knee and Joe Pace incident,
I knew this was
and
coming
then
up.
like Pace slashing?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to ask it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So obviously, like, I did knee him. Like, it was a complete accident. I'm not gonna go out of my way and try and knee someone, because if I don't, I could hurt myself. It doesn't make sense. Was it a penalty? Yeah, it was a penalty for sure. I obviously I didn't mean to hurt him. It was I need him accidentally. Should have been a penalty. I even skated by, like, so when I initially need him, I looped around because of the play, and then I said, "My bad," and then he got up and slashed me in the foot. If you saw like the whole outcome, and then I didn't see the whole him slashing Costello in the leg um, until the video. But yeah, like it was an accident. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a dirty hockey player. I'm not going to go, purposely try and knee a guy when it could hurt me. Like, I have bad knees myself. I'm not
Right.
going to, knee someone on purpose. And then I think he said something like, "I didn't want to fight Helen again." It's like, yeah, I didn't want to, because we're winning 5-0. Like, I don't get anything out of fighting him again. So that's all I really got on it. Joe, and I have nothing bad about Joe Pace either. Like, he's a good guy. He's funny. Like, I know
Yeah,
what he does. Like,
he's
I know
hilarious.
what he does on the ice, and I know what he does off the ice for his players. Like, one of my roommates is Ozo, and Ozo played with him in Port Huron, and Ozo has nothing but good things about to say about the guy, and how he takes care of guys off the ice and on the ice, and he's a showman. He's a showman. Like, that's what it is, and he's a great guy. I wouldn't say he's dirty at all, like, at all, and he's just there playing hockey. Like, I have no
Yeah,
ill
he's got a heart of gold.
exactly, like, I have no ill intentions, to hurt him or anything. Like, because I've had plenty of chances this year. We played them like 13 times, to either run him from behind or blindside him, because like I follow the play, and sometimes that's the way it works, and I could be in the right spot to hit him, from behind or blindside or hit him in the head, and I don't. So, this is the one time where I messed up and I need him. It should have been a penalty, like I said, but I apologize, and I hope he doesn't, think I was actually trying to hurt him. So
I see that, like, with this, that line of it is the action. You don't intentionally. I don't see a lot of players intentionally trying to hurt others. And maybe there are things that are told that people do try to hurt, but I think the majority, it's all about the heat of the moment, the heat of the play.
Mhm.
And a lot of times it's like, you do it, you feel bad about it, and then you look up and back and like, I didn't mean to hurt the guy. It was just the heat of the moment, the heat of the play, and all that stuff. And it just seems like it takes a few minutes for everything to calm down for everybody to realize. But when you have all the fans and all that stuff that's watching you and all that stuff, and you see that happen, everybody's already thinking like, "Oh my God, he's out there, he's an asshole." My
yeah,
God, he's out there to hurt people and all that stuff. I mean, it's probably not your intention in the first place. You just want to play the game.
no, it's our intent, like, as hockey players, and I guess all athletes in contact sports. Like, your intention isn't to hurt someone. Like you're not intending to blow a guy's knee out or hit a guy from behind. Some guys, it might be. There's probably guys out there that do. They don't care. They're just a wrecking ball and they don't care. But like anyone who has respect for their opponent or respect for the game, you're not out there to hurt someone purposely. Anyways, like freak accidents happen, things happen. So
I know we've really enjoyed having you on. Is there anything that you would like to say to the fans before we say goodbye?
I want to say thanks for one having me and two for I guess like you were telling me you got a lot of questions and I'm glad people were interested in me coming on this podcast and sending out their questions and whatnot, and I just love the support from especially Columbus fans. Obviously, other teams fans probably don't like me that much. So I want to say
I think I was your biggest critic for a long time, but me talking to you tonight, you've kind of changed my opinion on you a lot. So I view you differently now. Before this interview, I was like, oh my God, it's that Greco guy. God damn.
yeah,
Now I'm like,
no. I promise I'm not a dirtbag. I just play hard and people don't like it. And it is what it is. But like, I just want to say thanks to all the fans that come out to any game in the league and, come out to our game specifically and support us. And we just love having you guys out, especially hearing you guys, yell for us and chant our names and every time we score a goal. So it's unbelievable. And this is something that, especially my first year of hockey pro in North America, it's something I'll never forget. And how much support there is in the community and through the fans and whatnot. So.
well, thanks for being
Well,
here.
as a Columbus fan, I can thank you. It's always a pleasure to see you in the lineup. I enjoy those big hits and how you defend the other guys. So keep doing what you're doing. I think a lot of people are going to feel the same way Ed does, where maybe they're a fan of another team and they're like, oh, Greco this or Greco that. But then, like, again, the podcast really like lets people see that you guys are real people and, you have feelings and you're this and that off the ice. So it's been awesome having you on. And I'm just really, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Like I had a blast and I want to, say thank you for having me, especially, short notice too,
sure.
Because I know there was a cancellation. So
yes,
I know you.
Thank you for filling.
No problem.
That was awesome.
No problem at all. So.
Yeah, I'm glad it worked out. And, and hopefully we can have you back on in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, it's been good talking to you. Have a good night.
All right, you too.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Good night.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed our interview with Michael Greco. I know we had a great time, and I know that we still had so many questions. I know I try really hard to ask y'all's questions the best that I can, and I know just unfortunately sometimes we just run out of time, but hopefully he can answer some more of those questions in the future. So, with playoffs coming up, I'm pretty excited with this live playoff coverage that we're going to be doing. The crossover night with Bench Minor.
Right.
I hope all you guys tune in for that. Sean is amazing. So shout out. If you have not checked out Bench Minor yet, he's got a great podcast. He's got an amazing page. He keeps you up to date on the FPHL as well as the SPHL. So make sure you guys go over and show him some love and hit the like button and subscribe button on his YouTube and follow him on Facebook. And do the same for us, we love you guys. Honestly, we wouldn't have a show if it wasn't for the fans. So we really want to give a shout out to you guys and say thank you. So hit that subscribe button, come back and hang out with us.
And then also on top of that, if you know anybody that likes that PHL, refer them to our page, have them give us a listen. Because I'm sure that they'll like some of the players that we have. We've had we're on our 19th episode right now, and we've had quite a few options for fans for us to listen to and warm the feet up to our show. So let them know about our podcast and all that stuff, and have them ask any questions that you might have. So yeah, I'm also the playoffs are going to be exciting and all that stuff, like you said, and we can't wait. And yeah,
I can't say enough. I'm just so overly overly excited for the live streams. We're hoping to bring some fans in during the intermission. So when your team is like on the road, if you're hanging out with us and watching, we're hoping to be able to put up some of the games so we can, follow along. But also during intermission, hopefully we can bring on a couple of you guys to just hang out with us and, we'll ask you some questions and see if you're a super fan. I think that'll be a lot of fun.
And don't we have a contest or a promotion that you want to do, Anna?
Yeah, I have a challenge for you guys. So I don't know if anybody watched the Wolves and the Dragons game last year, but me and a bunch of 110ers, we sit in front of the YouTube camera. So we made a huge sign, and man, those signs took forever, but it was so worth it. So during the third period, the Dragons came out. Yeah, it was awesome. The Dragons came out, and a whole row of us stood up with poster boards, and each poster board had a letter that spelled out "Thank you, Dragons." But on the back, facing the YouTube camera, it said "Wolves, you suck." And it was such a cool thing to thank the Dragons, but also kind of poke a little bit at the Wolves. And even though we didn't win the cup last year, it's probably one of my favorite memories. So I want to challenge you guys, do fun stuff for playoffs. I want to see
Yes.
like Toga Man style, like dress up, paint, go all out. If you're going with a group, maybe do like a themed costume, or I think I saw it's like a Goodwill challenge where you go to Goodwill, $20 limit, you buy your friends their outfits and force them to wear them in public. Like that. Just do something fun and over the top, and send us some photos. And I don't know, maybe we'll put up a poll and see what we can do. Maybe we'll get a winner, and I don't know, maybe we can find a puck or something to send out to you. I think that would be a lot of fun.
I do a little hot dog contest, hot dog eating contest in the first period, something, because it's fun. The playoff atmosphere is a different monster than it is in the regular season. So, anything you guys think about? I don't know. We had Lee is not with us today, but I remember he mentioned to us earlier that maybe we could have a contest where somebody makes our sign, and if we spot your sign and one of the YouTube videos or something like that, we could send you a puck. Maybe I'll send you some coffee.
Oh, that's
or
fun.
We could do something like that. I mean, so if you see our sign in YouTube or something like that, we'll send you something. So maybe you get to sign it out, do something fun, and enjoy it. It's going to be a fun playoff this year.
Yeah, these guys, they fight hard. They put their bodies through hell. Go out and show them the love. Win, lose, whatever. Stay to the end of that game. Don't walk out if there's 2 minutes left. Like, stay there and support those boys regardless. But with that being said, again, tune in next week. We have Alex Basie joining us from the Delaware Thunder. And we want to thank our sponsors. We've got Justyce, Haymaker, Smoke, and Pro Hockey News. We also have the Chattahoochee Valley Warriors, so make sure you check them out. There should be a link into the description. And Ed?
Willow's Enchanted coffee, best coffee in the league. We're going to try to do a variation for the league, so look forward to that. And we have one more sponsor we're missing, aren't we? I can't put my head on it right now. If not,
we also have Pred TV.
There you go, that one. There you go.
Yeah, check out Pred TV. They're a great organization. They're building and just they basically capture child predators, and doing their best to make some laws and legislation change. So give them a like and follow on Facebook. I think they have a TikTok too. And yeah, it's actually a buddy of mine that started it. And they have really done some amazing things in the time and I think they're going to do even bigger things. So make sure you check them out. Oh,
and we can't forget Luke Bearded. He's a great sponsor of ours as well. So go check him out.
Lived Bearded, yeah. We're an affiliate of theirs, so there should be a link in the description. They offer beard and hygiene products for beards. Beard oil.
I know our co-host Lee he enjoys it a lot. So if he likes the product, he knows they're a good product. So yeah, Live Beard. The link will be in our episode guideline here. and go check them out and enjoy it. It has best beard oil in the sad Mississippi River.
All right, guys, we'll catch you next week for episode 20. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Just keep your head down and carry on. You fight like hell, turn the other cheek. It's what separates the strong from the weak. That's just the way that the line